Hello, my name is John Nagoski, and I'm a native speaker of English from Wisconsin in the USA. I would like to introduce to you my English reading channel with questions and answers.
Story 1, King Midas and the Golden Touch by Ellison Lewis. Many years ago, there was a king named King Midas. The king was very, very rich. He was the richest king in the world, and he had more gold than any other king in the world. And the king loved his gold. He loved his gold more than anything else in all the world. He had a lot of gold, but he always wanted more gold. One day the king was in his room, counting his money, when a wizard appeared in the room. The wizard said to the king, "I will give you one wish. What do you want?" The king said, "I want more gold." The wizard says, "But you already have so much gold. You have more gold than any other king." The king said, "I know I have a lot of gold, but gold is the best thing in the world. I want more. I wish that everything I touched would turn to gold." The wizard said, "All right, starting tomorrow morning when you wake up, everything you touch will become gold. But I will warn you, this gift will not make you happy." "I will take the risk," said the king. The next day the king woke up very early. He was eager to see if his wish came true, and if everything he touched turned to gold. The king touched his bed lightly with his hand. The bed turned to gold. He touched a chair and a table. As soon as he touched them, they were both turned to solid gold. The king felt extremely happy. He ran around the room, touching everything he could see. Everything turned to shining yellow gold. Soon the king felt hungry, so he went to the kitchen to eat his breakfast. But when he picked up a glass of water and tried to drink it, the water turned to gold. He couldn't drink any water. He wanted to eat some bread, but when he touched the bread it turned to gold. He wanted to eat some meat, but when he touched it to his mouth, it turned to gold. He couldn't eat anything. Everything was gold. His young daughter came running into the room. The king loved his daughter very much, and he gave her a big hug. But as soon as he touched his daughter, she turned into a golden statue. She couldn't move. The king had a feeling of great fear in his heart, and he felt as if all his joy had been taken away. In his sadness, he cried out to the wizard who had given him the gift of the golden touch. "Wizard," he called, "please take away this horrible gift. Take all my gold, take all my money, take everything. Just give me back my daughter." The wizard appeared and stood in front of the king. "Do you still think that gold is the greatest thing in the world?" asked the wizard. "No, no," cried the king. "I hate gold. I don't want any more of it." "Are you sure that you no longer want the golden touch?" asked the wizard. "Yes, I'm sure," said the king. "I've learned my lesson. I don't think gold is the greatest thing in the world." "All right," said the wizard. "Take this pitcher outside to the river and fill it with water. Then sprinkle water on the things that you have touched and turn to gold." The king took the pitcher and rushed outside to the river. Then he ran back inside and he sprinkled water on the head of his daughter. Instantly she could move again. She was no longer gold. She was a normal girl again. The king was overjoyed, and he gave his daughter a big hug and kiss. Next the king sprinkled his golden food with water, and it all turned back into real food. Then he and his daughter sat down to eat breakfast together. The king ate his food and drank his water very eagerly. He hated the golden touch so much that he even sprinkled the chairs and tables and everything else that he had turned to gold. Now the king hates gold, but now he is truly happy because he has his dear daughter. The moral of the story. The story of King Midas teaches us about the dangers of being greedy. The moral of this story is that you should not be greedy in life, but rather appreciate and be happy with what you already have, no matter how large or small. What does King Midas wish he could do? Building a golden castle? Turning everything to gold with his touch? Becoming a god? Eating his favorite food? What detail shows that the golden touch is fiction? King Midas is very rich. King Midas makes a wish and it comes true. King Midas was greedy. King Midas's servants brought him dinner. is the genre of the story? Expository text, myth, realistic fiction, or drama? What is the central message of the story? Some things are worth more than gold. Money will give you happiness. It is okay to be greedy sometimes, or always be honest.
The Fox and the Grapes. A hungry fox saw some fine bunches of grapes hanging from a vine that was trained along a high trellis, and did his best to reach them by jumping as high as he could into the air. But it was all in vain, for they were just out of reach. So he gave up trying, and walked away with an air of dignity and unconcern, remarking, "I thought those grapes were ripe, but I see now they are quite sour."
The moral of the story: it's easy to despise what you cannot have. Nothing comes easy without hard work. So work hard and reach your goals. What is a word for a short, funny story that has animals that act like humans and teaches us a lesson? Biography, fable, or novel? Aesop probably lived in or near the country of England, Greece, the United States of America, or Italy. How long ago did Aesop live? More than 2,500 years ago? About 500 years ago? About 200 years ago? About 1,000 years ago? The fox says he doesn't want the grapes anyway because he doesn't even like grapes. He's going to leave them for somebody else. The grapes were probably sour, and grapes make his stomach hurt.
The Cat and the Mice.
The Cat and the Mice is a fable attributed to Aesop. It tells the story of a house full of mice and a cat who hunts them. After the cat catches several of them, the remaining mice retreat into their holes. The cat tries to fool them by playing dead, but the mice don't fall for it. The moral of the story is that the wise are not tricked by the innocence of those previously found to be dangerous.
There was once a house that was overrun with mice. A cat heard of this and said to herself, "That's the place for me." And off she went and took up her quarters in the house, and caught the mice one by one and ate them. At last the mice could stand it no longer, and they determined to take to their holes and stay there. "That's awkward," said the cat to herself. "The only thing to do is to coax them out by a trick." So she considered a while, and then climbed up the wall and let herself hang down by her hind legs from a peg, and pretended to be dead. By and by a mouse peeped out and saw the cat hanging there. "Aha!" it cried. "You are very clever, madam, no doubt, but you may turn yourself into a bag of meal hanging there if you like, yet you won't catch us coming anywhere near you."
Which word is a synonym for fable? Depth, myth, or lots? The fable of the sick lion and the wary fox. What part of speech is fable? Verb, noun, or preposition? Which word is a synonym for coax? Persuade, purchase, escape. You have to coax some of the children to speak. What part of speech is coax?